This is Elizabeth. I am loading up your website, so let's see what we've got. All right. Sorry about the delay. It's been a little crazy. So I am actually on, it's going to be interesting because this front thing is not loading. I don't know what it is. I'm actually on a different Wi-Fi right now because Wi-Fi on our house is out. So I'm actually using my hotspot. So this is a great indication of if someone's internet is kind of bad or they have a bad connection or maybe they're on their phone sometimes this happens. It's not loading. So want to make sure that try and fix that part of it. Let me just kind of scroll through really fast, see what we've got. I don't like this like draggy line. Do you see that white line? I don't like that. That's a little weird. So again, it's there. It's like a draggy line. Let's see. Okay, like not bad overall. I'm a little curious. This picture's a little blurry. I would maybe adjust that unless it's supposed to be like that. Just looks a little blurry. Okay, let me actually close this little box at the bottom so I can see everything. Okay. So this picture still isn't loading. I don't know what it is. Let's see. What is this? Does this take me somewhere? Okay, it does. Takes me to that. I wouldn't know to click on this necessarily, so maybe think about having it somewhere else, maybe like in one of your sections, like maybe here or here even, something like that, like to have it as a section. So I know to click on it. And then having it here as well is good, but you know, having it like that. So the other thing I want to do is I'm going to look at it on my phone really quick because I want to see bold BT. And I'll probably be able to see what the picture is on here. Oh, it's still not loading. Not loading. You might want to fix that. And the bride vendor button is super tiny. It still links, but it's super tiny. So you can see it in the corner there. I know you can see what your mobile looks like, but it's just real tiny. So I would want to maybe fix that. And I see you have different images on your mobile than you do on here. Just a couple of the images are different. The mobile is very messy, like so many fonts going on, so many things overlapping. The book your services under Bring on the Avant-Garde, Disney Lovers, etc. That is all like overlapping on the mobile. It's not overlapping here, obviously. Let's see, and there's a different picture even than this one for the next section. Your picture is not showing up on mobile. So maybe you want to look at that. And the other ones seem to be okay. Oh, it's overlapping here as well in this section. The Insta section, Insta vibes, I can't see the word vibes. I just see the word Insta. So there's a lot of issues with the mobile. I also don't like it when a site has like different mobile version versus like something is completely different. Now, if you want to have, you know, you want to zoom in on part of a photo on the mobile because it's just too wide for, you know, desktop, or, you know, it's wider for desktop and, you know, need one more portrait style for mobile, that's fine. But, I think that the one you did with them, this one, that relates to this section up here, that looks great that they're the same. It gives me a sense of continuity. And then the one that's here, this one is the same. Like, that's great. But then there's other pieces that are just different, and I think it's a little bit misleading, like, is it the same site? I mean, you know, you can tell it's the same site, but do you know what I mean? Like, it just needs to be more continuity. Like, this picture is completely different from the other one. It's a great picture, but I would say you want to do the same, or maybe put both of them like side by side or something. I don't know. So notice that this isn't loading, and I'm on my phone, so it's just on my regular, you know, phone Wi-Fi or whatever, or my phone bars. All right, let's go to the About page. It says not found on mobile. So I went to About in your menu, and it says not found. Well, I want to fix that. So this is the thing about having a separate site from your mobile versus your desktop. This is why I use Squarespace, because it's responsive. It means if I change something on the About page or I change the way that it's linked, it changes all the places it's supposed to. It doesn't leave me hanging like this might have done to you, kind of. All right, so on here, it looks fine. I don't like that your contact form is on every single page. Too much. I'd like to see the footer end with like just the Instagram and like your footer that's there. That would be fine. And you might want to go through and actually check all your links, like every single link. And maybe even have like a program do that. Sometimes you can have a program, you can like go online and say link checker, and then they'll like put your website in and it tells you every link that's broken. Because some of these may also be broken like in your footer. Let's see. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, so there's some things in here that you might want to fix, like the links, the slug, what's called a slug, which is this like piece up here that says / and then whatever that piece is. The take me to your portfolio is lost in this picture. It's too much going on. I actually didn't even see it until I like just literally like went back and was looking really hard at it. So that's too lost here. You have so many different types of fonts going on, different colors, different sizes. And then you've got your, script font. So I might want to tone that back some. And maybe just use bold instead of like so many different sizes and colors. Because I know it's just one color, but you know what I mean? Like everything's kind of all mixed together. So maybe switch it to just using bold for the things you want to highlight instead of the things that are colors right now. And then use just the same font and then like only 2 sizes. Use your regular font for all this, your body font. Sorry, I just highlighted like a lot more than I want. And then use like a H2 or something here, and then H3 here or something like that. This should actually be H1, this section here. So, because that's what SEO is going to like better. Okay, so I think I've got rid of that, everything off of that page. But like I said, maybe take this whole deal off of every page. It's just too much. And on mobile, it's not really coming across very well. All right, let's go to galleries. Okay, the galleries on here seem to be the same as the galleries. This one just goes to black, by the way, just so you know. I actually like that better. When I hover over it, it goes to black. I like that a lot better than it going to another picture. Because on mobile, I have to click it twice to see it. I don't like that. I would actually just like to go to it. So I would like to see this picture be your image, then I can click it and go to it. Because on mobile, you don't get hover effects. And if I click on it on mobile, well, the portraits one, the boudoir one, let's see. If I click boudoir once, it goes on mobile, it goes to the boudoir section. If I click portraits once, it doesn't go anywhere. I have to click it again for it to take me to portraits. If I click engagements, it goes there. And if I click weddings, it goes there. So maybe the portraits one just has an issue. You might want to check into that. On mobile, it has an issue. Obviously, if I click it once here, it's going to go. So, all right. It's okay. I don't really like one-page galleries. They're sometimes too much because if I just want to scroll, it's just like I get overwhelmed. And you have the Instagram at the bottom, so maybe consider separating the pages. You don't have to, but it's just personal preference of mine. All right, let's go to info pricing. Now, if this says info and pricing on your website, and then here it says information, and then another line that says pricing. So not so hot about that one. I'd rather see them be the same. So if I go to information on the phone, it takes me to the pricing. And then if I go to pricing on the phone, what does it take me to? It just takes me down the page to this section. That's kind of misleading because maybe the section I actually want to see is weddings, and that's under the information section. So on the phone, I would actually combine information and pricing like you did on your screen, on your desktop, because it has information / pricing because they're both on the same page. So I would combine those. Your prices are super, super tiny. Be bold about that. This is Be Bold BT, right? You need to make those bigger And again, so many fonts, so many things going on. Tiny, tiny script. Look how tiny it is. Let me go back to the page. Again, even on the phone, it's tiny, hard to read, especially when it's overlaid. I'm getting an overlay on the website, but I'm not getting an overlay on the mobile, which is a little weird. So consider what you're doing there. Don't split them again. Make them pretty much the same if you can. If it doesn't look good on mobile, then maybe it shouldn't be on desktop either, because desktop's going to be about 10 to 15% of your overall traffic. Mobile is going to be your number one traffic. Let's see. Then you have this thing called What to Expect, which goes to the left, which makes it feel like I should have been there first, like I'm going backwards. I get it's like a symmetry thing, but it feels like I'm going backwards. Like I should have already been on this page. If there's like a customer journey, then I need to see that. But I don't want to like go backwards, you know? And then detailed pricing makes me feel like I need to go forward. Let me see what detailed pricing just takes me down. Okay. Let me see what to expect takes me to. Oh, this is a whole nother page. All right, let's look at it on mobile as well. Okay, on mobile, this page isn't bad. Again, the contact form's at the bottom. I would like a picture here, though. It's very bland. I know you have the picture at the bottom here, which I think you should take off of every page anyway, except maybe the home page and the contact page. But I maybe like have a picture in the corner here, like a circle one or something. I'll put myself there like this. It's me. Wait, make myself bigger. Nope, too big, too big. There we go. Now I can put myself here. See, like that, like a cool picture like there. Okay, so let me put myself back and make myself tiny because, okay, there we go. So yeah, I would do that. I'm looking at the mobile here. Okay, yeah, not my fave. And this actually comes up as a pop-up, apparently. Is this a pop-up? I don't know what this X is for. I'm getting this weird X. I don't even have a menu on here. It's like there's no menu. There's like an X, but it can't click it. It's not going anywhere. So now I have to go back. Can't even go back. I have to click. There's no X I can click. Let me have to go back now. Okay, that's annoying as a consumer. I don't have any menu access. I can't click the X. Weird things are happening. Also, if you're noticing, look at how this looks, where it says your menu. Look at your menu. It's so light and it's over other words. Very, like, I just stopped like there. It's such a mess. Like, you need to definitely get into that. Maybe make that a solid color. It should be black. And this octagon around your thing, not in love with it. It's too close to the edge. There's not enough room for it to breathe. And I'd like to see it maybe like a triangle instead and make it black and then make your bar black, and then it'll look like it's coming down a little bit, but it should be away from the edge and down some. Your menu is too close to the top. It's just too tight. Okay. Let's go to the next page. What's the next page? Oh, what to expect was next. Okay, let's go to that page from here. I'm going to go to the what to expect page from mobile. This is where it takes me. What? There it is. I'm going to go to what to expect on here, and it just takes away my menu. I have this weird X thing I can't get rid of. All right, let's go to the next one. FAQ. This says not found. And your what to expect up here is kind of like connected, so it's just taking me back to that weird page. Okay, let's go to contact. You got a lot of problems, and these are functionality problems. Your site looks beautiful, but it doesn't function. If I was a consumer, I'd be so frustrated, I'd already have left. And you knew I was going to be hard on you, but this is ridiculous, girl. You work on this thing all the time. You got to stop making these like little mistakes that are tripping you up and losing you business. All right. Contact. So this just took me down to the bottom of the home page. Look at the contact on here. Oh, it's a mess. Look at it. It's a mess. I want this to be a separate page. Definitely needs to be a separate page. And it needs to have all the text fixed. It's all spaced. Look how spaced it is. There's so much space in between each letter. The fonts need to be realigned. like figuring out like, okay, here's the font I'm going to use. Look at this font. This is two different fonts right here. Look at these. From this paragraph to this paragraph, two different fonts. You need to have a font that is your title font or your heading font, and then you can have a separate one that is your body font. So if you want to use, this font here, that's fine. That could be your title. It's your serif font. I see it works good as your title. And then this needs to be a sans serif. It does not need to be something funky or cute or, it needs to be very, very clear and clean, like Open Sans, Arial, like something really plain and boring. Because this is really hard to read. And look how tiny this font is here compared to this font. Isn't that weird how it's coming out like that? You need to make sure you're not adjusting too much. Like this is okay, but it's really hard to read where it's better to read that font here, like the sans or the serif font here. But you need a sans serif when you're actually reading like lots of text in groups. And look, this is real tiny. Pro tip: leave it the same size. All the body text should be the same size. This is too much. This font can only be good. This scripty font is great for one word. It's great for, your date. Like, I don't mind it like that. Again, this is really tight to the top. It needs more space. But you really don't want to use it for like long titles like this. That's going to give you, people are going to be able to read it and they're not going to be able to catch the words that are going to make them want to read this section. This what to wear part, that gets totally lost because the word your, the word during, the word your, even the word how, like that all distracts from the words what to wear. So you want to make sure, and the part 2, you put a number 2 instead of the Roman numeral 2. That's also sometimes a little bit off, like people don't notice it as much because it's just number and they just like completely ignore it. So see how boudoir, experience, Casey, that's not too bad because it's like three words total. But this has so many words, it just gets lost. So you want to use this, should be your heading font again, and in bold maybe. It's going to look a little more boring to you, but you have to do some of these things to make your site more accessible to people. Let me pull it up on my phone. I'm going to show you some things here. So you can see the two different fonts here. So we've got a font here at the top, which is from this one, right? And then I scroll up and I've got a different font here. See how much more readable that one is than this one? Isn't that crazy? So you want to go with this font down here. See how these two go really well together? And also they're different sizes, it looks like. Let me see here if I scroll down. I can't even see your look, the bottom of this page isn't even loading. So, got some troubles, girl. If you want to walk through the site again, I mean, I did a quick walkthrough, but if you wanted to do like a really, really in-depth walkthrough, let me know. Oh, sorry, hold on. There we go. Then let me know and we can work something out because there's a lot of little picky things, like just the logo being so close to the edges, and if you don't know how to do those things, or if the system doesn't allow you to do that stuff, you'd have to get some code in there and like do some HTML and figure some of this stuff out or some CSS actually. But because it's hurting you. This craziness, like I'm reading your blog and there's tiny text I can barely read. And then there's like another text, but it's not really readable. It's not a great reading text. And then your menu is like overlapping things and I can see everything through it. And some of your menu links don't even work, especially on mobile. So you really have to sit down and think about what you want the customer experience to be, how you want them to move through the site. You should sit down and map that out. When someone comes to the site and they're looking for weddings, I want them to do A, B, C, and D, which ends with them contacting you. When someone comes to the website looking for boudoir, I want them to do A, B, C, and D, which ends with them contacting you. Now, they might click on different things, but then that helps you decide what you put on your homepage, what links you use on your homepage. Then once they get to the next section, how do they flow from there? Maybe they go to a what to expect section because you don't want to start with pricing right up front. And this info and pricing thing, that shouldn't even be there. It should just be pricing, and it should be what to expect. Like, pick one thing and talk about it. You need to be more clear with what you're presenting. When I go to About Jess, I see About You. That's it. Very clear. When I go to Contact, I should see just the contact form, not the bottom of another page. When I go to Blog, I should just see your blogs. Those pages are very clear. Galleries, I just see galleries. This is what to expect, FAQ, info and pricing, all that's mixed up. And that's where you really need to start separating and say, when I'm talking to a client on the phone or I'm talking to someone in person, how do I start? Do I say, okay, it's $295, starting at $295, but it's not really $295, but if you start there, you don't start with those words. You say, what kind of wedding are you looking for? You start like asking them questions so you can help them better, right? And then they'll say, yeah, but I just don't know if I would want to even do a boudoir session. You know, they have these hesitations. And then you can say, hey, here's what you can expect from a session with me in weddings, in boudoir, in portraits, in family, whatever it is you're doing, right? Here's what you expect. Here's how we do the sessions. They go, you know, we set up a meeting, and then I have this on my site too. We set up a meeting, we do a call, then we discuss this, then we have a second follow-up meeting, then we do contracts and, you know, negotiations or whatever you want to call it, contracts, and then we book your date, and then we do 2 more follow-up calls, and then we have your date, right? So you can lead them through the process because no one wants to go into something blind. And you need to have a process that you stick to and you follow every single time. This stuff around the pricing, this right here, has no use here. I mean, you can put it there, but it really doesn't have a use. If you want to describe this on the boudoir page or on a boudoir section, that's why I think you actually should step away from this whole like photography type thing and go more to pages that are like, this is the boudoir page, this is the gallery for the boudoir page, this is the portraits page, this is the gallery for the portraits page, and it has the pricing on it for the portraits. Because when people come looking for this stuff, they're not looking for you to say, well, what does she do? Like, well, tell me all the pricing for everything when I'm only interested in weddings. Do you know what I mean? They're going to see, instead of galleries, info, and pricing, what to expect, I'm going to see weddings, boudoir, portraits. That's really all you do. And then maybe on portraits, you have an avant-garde section or something. Like, you can narrow this down a lot more and really be specific on each page rather than having all this info and pricing. I hate when they do that on those stupid photography websites. It just makes me feel very like it's an old way of doing things. And you're not telling me who you are up front. I'm having to dig around for it, you know? And then the pricing is kind of like, well, I charge $295. I can't really make it loud because you might not buy from me. No, you need to be like starting at $295. Click here to book. And this is the thing. You don't even have a call to action. It's just this contact page at the bottom. That's just like, contact me, I guess. There's nothing here that says book now or schedule a call. And I can't go on your calendar and schedule a call. All that stuff, girl, you're missing. So I'm going to have to end this now, but you know what I think about it. If you have questions, call me. We'll chat. I'll be available tomorrow more than I am today. So write down some questions. Let's chat. And you got a lot of work to do, but you got a lot of time, I know. You can stop sewing for a few minutes. You can work on this. This is going to set you back, though, if you don't fix these things. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.